Good morning, Soul Shiners. It is Saturday, April 21st, 2018. It is 6:59 a.m. The sun is shining. There's still frost on the grass. We had a beautiful sunrise this morning. And today marks 1 month officially of podcasts. 1 month of Soul Shine with Serenity Jenny, and I am your host, Serenity Jenny. Wow. Like, seriously, I am beyond ecstatic. I am excited to be reaching countries all over the world. If you're listening to this, I would love to hear what country you're listening from. Give us a like, subscribe to the channel. You can listen through Spreaker, you can listen through iTunes, and pretty soon you'll be able to listen through Spotify. So super excited about all of this. What a difference a month makes. And the ability to be able to share with you at your convenience all of this information to raise the vibe for the greater good, for your own good, for my own good. It's amazing. It's so amazing. I'm so excited. And I ask before I press the record button that my voice be infused with the energy that you need to heal, to be enlightened, inspired, and that you feel whatever it is you need at that time to move forward with your spiritual path purpose for your soul's highest and best good. So I was really excited when I was thinking about the topic for today, because I was like, wow, what am I going to do? It's like so exciting. I want to talk about everything, but I'm going to talk about the I am presence. And the I am presence, to tell you, whatever you put behind the words I am, you get more of. That's why we have all these affirmations. So God in the Bible, the frequency of the actual word God is exactly the same as the words I am. Not sure if you knew that, but it is. So I'm going to give you a couple quick examples of that. So, Moses goes up to see God, and he's in the presence of the burning bush, and he said, Lord, where are you? And he said, here I am. I am. And there are so many different scriptures that we could quote here. Jesus says that I am the way, the truth, and the light. There's another, I am the Alpha, the Omega. I am the beginning of the end. I am that I am. And I will be quite honest with you, if I could give you one tool only for the rest of your life to utilize metaphysically, spiritually, through your ascension process for your soul's highest and best good, it is repeating, I am that I am. That which is God is inside of you. So, and I was totally torn between that coping strategy, that empowerment, I don't know, whatever you want to call it, that tool, and talking about the 7 rays, which I think I'll cover one at a time. Like I'm covering the archangels, so you can listen to those at your discretion whenever you need to, and it's not one whole big podcast. So I was a little bit torn between them, but you are part of Creator and Source, that which is I am, and the I am presence is actually all that is. So when you're saying and you're affirming I am that I am, you are affirming and stepping into a place of truth and recognition that you are the divine. You are the embodiment of the divine, and there is nothing that you cannot do, that you cannot have, that you cannot be. And with that being said, that carries energy. I am that I am. I am that I am. I'll tell you a story. I will say that when I'm upset until I can calm myself down, because, it's funny. I run this through my head. What would God do in this situation? If Jesus was here, what would he do? And, there's things that happen in my life that upset me. People get angry with me. Sometimes I know what I did. Sometimes I don't know what I've done. Sometimes it is something I've done. Other times it's just me being me, and they have an issue with me because there's something being reflected or mirrored or, whatever. They feel some kind of way, and my feelings get hurt, and I think, okay, listen, if I can say I am that I am and be in that space, what would God truly do? What would the most loving, kind, compassionate force in this universe that is unconditional love do? And most often I walk away and I say, I am that I am. And I don't know if my sister-in-law is listening at all, but today is her birthday. Happy birthday, Dana. Yesterday was my nephew Andrew's birthday. Happy birthday, Andrew. I don't think you're going to be listening, buddy, but if you are, happy birthday. Dana, you're an angel. We love you so much. We're so grateful you've come to our family. You and the girls and the boys have changed all of our lives forever. Happy birthday, and I hope that you find your I am space within you and your I am presence today on your birthday of all days. I digress. So getting back to the point, when you invoke that I am presence within your own being, you're going to start to feel stuff. And, let's talk about goosebumps for a minute. Pylorus erectus, that's the hair standing on end, feeling like you have chicken skin, however you want to say that. I call them God bumps, truth bumps, spirit bumps, whatever. Because if you're not in pain, that's one reason you can get them. The other reason that you could get them is if you're cold. And if you can rule those two out, the third reason is because the energy has shifted in the room, in your being, and you are in some divine alignment. So pay attention. That was one of my first cues when I was sitting in Joy's house, my hairstylist house at the time, getting goosebumps in July, trying to figure that one out. And I finally came to the realization that, I'm not cold, I'm not in pain. Oh, wow. I think this is what happens when spirit is around me or I'm getting messages. And that's exactly what was happening. And that was kind of one of my first clues to getting aligned with my own I am presence. I was like, oh, well, that must be a yes. So I'm going to go with those goosebumps being a yes. And listen, it doesn't matter what you believe, what belief you assign to that. Whatever is going on. If you assign the yes to, when you see the number 1, 2, or 3, whatever. That's your definition in your dictionary, how you relate to spirit, and everybody's way is correct. There's 700 billion truths on the planet. It's all cool. Allow it to work for you the way it works for you. As long as it doesn't harm yourself or somebody else, that's great. Let it work. So let's go back to the I am. When you want to affirm something into fruition, and yes, you can't wipe clean on a car, so you do have to play in the mud a little tiny bit because you have to wash the car off, the vehicle off of the lower level energies. And when we work with the 7 rays, you actually can use that ray to purify what issue you're having, because that ray is actually the healing light for the problem that you're facing. There's love, unconditional love, and then there's, control. And that when you work with a blue ray, El Moria is that ascended master, the Kohen that oversees that ray, will help release controlling, possessive attributes of love when you use the blue flame or the blue ray. So that's a whole other podcast. But anyhow, look those up if you want to start ahead of the game. I'm going to start covering the rays tomorrow. And let's get back to this I am presence, right? So this divine I am, the spark of God that is within you, is flawless, is perfection, is divine alignment, is all that is, and it's inside you. So when we start to align with this I am presence within our own being, and I say this all the time, I am health, wealth, and abundance, and all of life comes to me with ease, joy, and glory. Got that from Gary Douglas from Access Consciousness way back when I auditioned for The Voice in 2012. So, and that was spirit talking to me because I had no idea really what any of that was. And there was a lot of that from those teachings that my guides and angels had been working with me with. And when I was actually introduced to it, and I'm like, oh, wow, I've been doing this for 3 years. And I had no idea that it was something. It was a form of instruction. So that was my guides and angels giving me instruction from a really high level that I had no knowledge from this plane at all, that it was, it was like Reiki. It was a program, and I had no idea. So allow your guides and angels to give you these downloads, to give you this information, and operate from this place of knowing that this is really useful information. So when you want something to happen in your life and you put it behind the words I am, you can fake it till you make it. That's totally okay. That's going to change neural pathways in your brain, because honest to God, as sure as I sit here, if you take the mind there, the body will follow. But sometimes it's a little hard when you get the cart before the horse. So if you can find the divine alignment within yourself of what that feels like, it's going to happen so much faster. So the feeling of the alignment with the I am presence is going to get you there supremely faster than just saying it. So what does that feel like? Allow yourself to be in that space of receiving. That I am is within you. And when you really say that with like fervor and commitment, I am that I am, you feel powerful in your soul self, in your highest self, in a loving, unconditionally loving, compassionate way. That's compassionate action, and that will get stuff done like yesterday. So that's an attraction point, a coping strategy, a tool for alignment. It is invaluable to me. I can't tell you how many times I say that a day. And sometimes when I don't know something or I'm struggling with something, I'll just say that until I find the stillness within my being to hear or know or see or feel what I need to experience to help me move in the right direction. Sometimes I make decisions based on I am that I am, because I just sit there and I say it to myself, and I'll say it like probably 10 times, maybe more. It depends on what I'm feeling at the time. If I'm angry, I might say it 30. So I find that space within me. Anger is a teacher. It's a secondary emotion. It's a blanket that's covering up something else. So I pull the blanket off and I look at my own emotions, or sometimes I watch them like fish swimming by me. I visualize the anger. I understand it. I see it, but I don't catch the fish because I don't need to hang on to it. I just observe it from a different viewpoint. So I don't have to function in that frequency if I don't want to. Sometimes I choose it. Sometimes I choose it and I grab it and I hold on to it. And then when I'm done with it, I'm done with it. I let it go. I let it go back into the stream, into my emotions. It's not bad. I'm able to embrace it much more now in my adulthood. I didn't have words when I was young. So if you knew me, you knew I talked with my fists a lot. I couldn't find my language. It's because I repressed so many emotions. When I freaked out, that was the expression of everything coming out at one time. And add on to that, the expression of emotion through physical. There's a lot of layers to that, but when a child does that, from that place, there is or could be trauma underlying that. And then my dad died when I was 13, so that was trauma blanketed with grief, blanketed overall being empathic and carrying all that energy with me everywhere I went. And I was just ready to explode all the time because I had no vent or no release. So it was crazy. But let's get back to this, our very first anniversary podcast. So 30 days, we've had a month of this amazingness. And we're talking about the I am presence and talking about how you affirm that which is the divine within you. So I say all the time, I am slenderly voluptuous because I'm happy with my curves. Sometimes not all of them, but no, I'm kidding. I'm learning to embrace myself on a being level that is totally accepting of my physical.